This week we spoke about hope. There's so much darkness and despair in this world, and we just looked at how necessary it is to have hope in your life, and especially in marriage.
There's a lot of struggles that can happen in your marriage, financial, medical health issues, raising children, and if you do not have that hope in God and equally yoked to each other in the hope to move forward, and that things will get better, and that God has that good in mind for you, then it can easily lead to despair.
You said equally yoked, and one of the things that we talked about was how important it is for spouses to be on the same page as one another as far as the faith is concerned. If they are falling away from each other, most often their relationship is also falling away from God, and that's a reflection upon it. Another point was how necessary it is for hope to become habitual, and in order to make a habit out of something, you really do have to work at it. It doesn't always just come naturally, and that sounds strange when you're talking about hope, but the truth is that even hope needs to be developed as a habit.
Yeah, some of the best periods that we have in our marriage is when we do consistently get together at the end of the night when the kids have been to bed and just talk about our day and some of the struggles that we've had and how we're going to support one another moving forward.
How do we slay the dragons in our marriage?
I know we'll be able to come home and remind her that the devil is trying to pick us off one by one in our marriage, always attempting to tear apart what God has put together, and to keep reminding her, and thereby reminding myself as well, that God always has what's best, what's good in mind for us.
And you slay the dragons for me and in our marriage just by being that strong and steady rock, that you're always somebody that I can lean on, and somebody that I know at the end of the day you are with Christ. And that is the most important thing, because that's where all of your power comes from. That's where all of your authority comes from, and that is where your strength and your courage to lead me and to lead our family forward comes from your roots, your strong roots in Christ.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things that I've learned as a husband, is to have a real good daily prayer life. Because if you're not continually receiving that power from God and that direction and understanding His will for you and for your family, then it's easy for things to go awry and for the devil to creep in.
How can suffering produce the endurance that St. Paul talked about?
I know in our marriage, we've had some struggles early on with our house, and it was a great practice ground for us to rely on God, because there were so many things that happened so early on, and if we did not have that faith and hope in God, it would have been easy for us to despair and really attack each other in the middle of that.
There's an image of Padre Pio talking about how this life is like a finely woven tapestry, but we are looking at it from underneath, so all we see are the loose ends of strings and knots and things like that, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to us. It seems like a chaotic mess, if you will, but then at the end God turns over that tapestry and shows us how it looks and what He's been doing and what He's been working on the whole time. And seeing the other side of that tapestry is beautiful. It is as it should be. Every single string is placed exactly where it needs to be, and in the end we can see that it all works together. So I like to cling to that when I think of hope, that image that Padre Pio set forth.